your girl Mimi. Today, oh my god, this life, life is different from real. Like when you make a video, you edit it, you do it the way you want. It's different from, when you go live. But welcome to this live section. I'm going to be discussing all things Canada. Let me just, let me settle in and get used to this for a minute. I'm going to be discussing all things Canada because that is what my channel is about. I made a post yesterday saying that I'm going to come live to answer all the questions about relocating in 2024. And I'll just like to give a quick disclaimer that this is my opinion and my experience. And this is not a professional advice or anything. I'm just going to share how I did my own application myself to get here. And I would like to just answer any question because in the last couple of years, all the videos and everything that I talk about on my channel, how do I enable live chat? Can someone say hi? Let me see if it appears. Okay, yeah. Okay. So thank you guys for joining me. I know that I posted this yesterday that I'm going to come here to answer questions, and I want to just wish you a happy new year. And I don't like to waste people's time. So if you have the questions already, you can get it coming. Basically, what I want to discuss will be how to move to Canada in 2024 by yourself without spending loads of money on agents. Okay. And even though I used to say, don't pay agents to do these things, do them yourself, I've also understood that everyone cannot do these things themselves, but it's very important that you have like the basic it's very important that you have basic knowledge about what you're trying to get yourself into. The last video that I talked about, the Janet said you do live stream too. This is my first, okay, and I'm just doing it because as we are starting the new year, I'm like, okay, let me come here, answer questions. People have been following me all this time. The least I can do is, come and answer questions. Maybe you put a comment I didn't answer, or I didn't answer it the way you want. I've also enabled, if someone wants to join me, I enable that also. If you make a request and you would like to, contribute to the topic, of course, then you can send me a request to join and contribute. So if you have any question about moving to Canada as a permanent resident in 2024, the documents you need, what are the requirements, just put them right there in the comments, and I'm going to be answering them one by one. And before I read what Janet said, I was just talking about the fact that even if you want to use an agent, you should know that more than I want to say 90%, but I don't want to say 90%, but just know that majority of the things that you are going to need, um even if you're using an agent, is you that would provide it. You are the one that is going to provide um your account statement to the agent. You are going to write IELTS and provide to the agent. You are going to, your age, you can't change that. You need to do your international passport. All those things that you need, your work experience, doing your ECA by sending your degree to West or IQAS or whichever one you use, all of those things, should you decide to write the English test or write the French test, all these things, you are the one that is going to have to provide it to the agent. So it's important that 37 people watching, only 2 giving me thumbs up. That's not nice. Please give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend it to as many people, so that we can answer as many questions and learn, because this will be for a period of 1 hour. So I'll just start by going through the questions because I've seen some, but I really appreciate if you have not subscribed to my channel, do so. That's how I encourage what I'm doing here. And if you have subscribed before, then thank you. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, okay? That thumbs up is free when you thumbs up, but this is how the algorithm sends the video to many people that needs to see it, that if that makes sense, okay. Just in one tiny second, because I don't want to miss it, so I'm going to be taking the questions from my laptop, just so because the way it's scrolling, the way it's going on my screen, I might just not be able to. Okay, so all right, I'm picking the first question. Hi. I'm here, please. How can I get to know, this is Dauda, which province jobs are in demand in order to enter the EE pool? So, to be honest, okay, in Canada, I think is a no-brainer. Ontario has the most jobs in this country. Okay, that's just because majority of the people live there. Okay, if half of Canada population lives in Ontario, that's to tell you that more than, majority of the job is going to be in Ontario. So if you are looking at the province where you would get more jobs and the remaining 30 people, you don't want to give thumbs up. I will not answer your question. You know me now. So what I was trying to answer, Kayode, is that Ontario has more jobs and is also more expensive in terms of cost of living, housing, and all of that. To find accommodation as a new immigrant in Ontario can also be very difficult. Um, Not difficult, but more expensive. Okay, and the reason why that is like that is because they also have more jobs and their job kind of pay more. But it's important to also know that they have more tax. Okay, so let's use GST for example. If I go to Walmart and I buy this pen in Alberta, I'm going to pay 5% by the time I'm leaving Walmart. Okay, for the GST of this. If I buy the same pen in Ontario, I'm going to pay 13%. Okay, so you can see the pros and cons. But generally speaking, in terms of like where people are, in terms of where you have more jobs, Ontario is the place. But I do have to say that Alberta is my absolute favorite province. It could be, maybe I'm being biased, but the truth is, I live here in Alberta, and just the fact that you can also find jobs in Alberta and cost of living is a bit is cheaper. That is why Alberta is my favorite. Okay, and if you have any more questions about Alberta, just let me know so I can let me answer someone else. So this is the link travel saying, Mimi, can I get a cybersecurity job? Although I'm coming to Canada with visit visa soon. So the thing is, I've talked about visit visa and jobs a lot of time because I understand that this is like one of the ways that people are, using to come in. But let's just be clear. You cannot work with a visit visa. If the question is about getting a job or not getting a job, well, that's really not like a yes or no. Say for example, you apply to a job and the company likes your skill so much, you nail the interview and they want you and they give you a job offer, they can further then apply for LMIA for you, and then you can then use your LMIA, probably go to like the Canada US border, and you do what they call what's that thing now? You flag pole. So, and then you are now going to be in Canada with work permits to work for that company that's giving you that job. So, technically, um, you cannot work with visit visa, but should you find a job as a visitor, you can then be on a work visa and then you know get. But I don't advise. I just This is the way I see it. LMIA is for people who are outside Canada anyway, and people who are in Canada but cannot, but don't have uh, the right visa to work. So being physically here, there is a debate if that is any advantage. Okay, if being present in Canada has any form of advantage or not, this is still something that a lot of people would say there is no advantage being here as a visitor, just to come and look for the LMIA job. Where even if you are outside the country, you can as well look for the LMIA job, right? But some people will also argue and say, well, I would have more opportunity if I'm if I am present, right? And maybe the company gets to see me, I get to attend one-on-one interview. So all of those can be an advantage. But yeah, coming with a visitor visa, I will just say watch most of the videos that I've done a great job talking about VC visa pros and cons. There are other YouTubers as well, like Joko Millionaire, that talks a lot about it. So you might want to just see what they think. But personal opinion, again, not a professional advice. I do not. I would not tell you to come to Canada as with a visitor visa. With the intention to work, because I've seen a lot of people that did that and it didn't go exactly the way they thought it would go. Okay. Um, so I'm just going to move to the next one. Abraham says, good evening. I'm a truck driver. How can I get to this place? Well, truck driving, you need a truck driving license as well in Canada before you can drive a truck. I think I did a lot of videos about truck driving, so I will just let that. It's quite self-explanatory. If you drive truck in your place, you need to get a truck driving job. If you get to Canada, you need to, depending on the province, okay, because all the province you would have to do the license. You have to then go to the registry and ask that you want to do either a class, depending on the province, it can be a class one or a class three driver's license. And then when you pass your truck driving license, this is when you can then look for a job. Now, truck driving job is one of like the most, I think every Canada YouTuber talks about truck driving job, and that's just because of the scarcity and the fact that there's a lot of jobs. If you check vacancy for truck drivers in Canada, there's always thousands of jobs. Okay, so there is a lot for you to fill up here, and um, the salary is good. Of course, the salary is good because truck drivers make a great deal of salary. You can check Glassdoor and just say average salary for a truck driver, and you see how much they make. So if coming here as a truck driver is your thing, I'll say make sure that you're coming with your country's driver's license, okay? Because that driving history would help you one way or the other. So we'll move on to Abubakar. Can I apply for community college? What do you mean, can I apply for community? Can you apply to a community college? You can apply to college, and what do you mean, can I apply for community? If you want to apply to college in Canada, you can as an international student. Just make sure that the college you're applying for has, if your intention is to remain after study. So, two things that you're looking for is you're going to ensure that that school is a designated learning institute. I just want to thank 15 people that gave this video a thumbs up. The other people that did not give, I will not answer you. So, first you want to ensure that your study is the school you chose is a designated learning institute, and then secondly you want to make sure that the program you chose is eligible for postgraduate work permit. Okay, now there are some schools that have designated learning institute but the program you choose might not have postgraduate work permit. So be careful. And if you don't find those questions, the answers to your question on the website, the easiest way really to know is just to email the school. All schools have their email on their website. You can just email them and ask them, hey, I'm an international student coming from so country. I'm interested in so program. I would like to know if this program is eligible for postgraduate work permit upon completion, and put all the questions you have there and send to the admission department or whatever email they provide, and they will answer you and tell you what you need. Okay. Janet said, I have three kids. I'm a teacher, and my spouse is a health officer. So, is there any job for teachers? Of course, there are jobs. I don't think there is anything as there is no job. There are jobs, okay? But just like everywhere in the world, when you come, you have to look for a job. Just because it's Canada does not mean jobs are just, literally, you still have to apply. And even me that live in Canada, I did not get every job that I applied for. You get some, you will not get some. You get sorry, you get regret email, and then you get congratulations. You get your you get your congratulatory email. English is not your mate. You get your congratulations, I mean your congratulatory email, and then but then let's back to being serious now. You have to when it comes to teaching, so there are professions that are actually licensed, so you want to make sure that you have the right you can't be a teacher and just come here and then be a teacher. Okay, so most professions are licensed: healthcare, teaching, engineering. Yeah, to be engineer here you need engineering. Even carpentry is a licensed occupation, so you want to make sure that you have the, just like driving, you need a license. Okay, so just whatever your occupation is, type it and say so occupation, do I require license in Canada? Okay, it's very important so that you don't just get here and say, oh, I want to teach. Even to work in daycare, you still have to go and attend early childhood education, those kind of training before you can actually say, oh, I'm now operating my own daycare and stuff like that. So the next one is Nurse Collins. If you live in Canada and I answered something and you feel like, maybe you should have added this point, you can request and I'll let you come in live with me, and then you can help, all of us to learn. Nurse Collins said, I want to move to Canada this year and also want to move with my wife. Please, I'm begging you guys, subscribe to my channel. It will mean a lot to me this year, really. I promise to be back to back. Today is January 2nd, but you are the first person in my mind, and I came here. Okay, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So, Colin said, I want to move to Canada this year and also want to move with my wife. I have not yet gotten married though. Okay, I mean, we'll find a wife, we'll start applying. No problem. I wish you the best of luck with that. So, two questions actually. So this bank say, please, when is the best month this year to start my school processing if I want to start school January 2025? Well, it depends. So most schools are like September, but then you also have January and May, right? So it depends. The easiest way to answer this question is that I'm assuming you already know the school that you want to go to, or if you don't know, find the school and see if the admission is open already or not. For schools, some schools that wants to start in September, the admission and the application is probably open. If your school is not if the application is not open, the school will tell you when the next application will open for 2025. So that's like the easiest way to know, because for me to answer this question I probably have to know the school, then google the school, go check, see which dates they start. So if your school is in January, just go to the school website, check your program, see if the admission is open or the application is open. If it's not open, check the next dates that they would open. They always have all this information on their website. So Taya said, hello from Nigeria, happy new year. Happy new year to you too. I've done my IELTS and I got overall 6. I have evaluated my degree certificate with West. Please, what else do I need to do? To be honest, right now, with the way the score is going, I don't think a band 6 is going to give you the score that you require. It's just the bitter truth. Because of, if you check the last draw and how many points, okay? But then it depends also on other things like your age, all those things. If you calculate, are you like 400 and something, 500 and something, this would tell you if you are going to get, if you are going to be getting uh, what's it called now? If you are going to be getting the application to, if they're going to take you in the next draw, right? You would know depending on your score. But if you've done all of those with a band 6 and you're not, some people go as much as writing French to add to the English test just so to they can boost their score. I also wrote IELTS multiple times, to be honest. That's just because I didn't get the score that I needed. And at the time, um, this was my the score that they were using was 475, and I wouldn't get in on a band 7, or so we had to write again. So some people would go ahead and write some people go ahead and write French just to add to or to boost the score. So if you've done your ECA, WES and all of those things, and your point is still another thing, though, I tell people, regardless of your score, just submit your application in the pool, because sometimes if your occupation is in demand, the province, a particular province can just come and give you 600 points by giving you provincial nomination. Okay, I know somebody that was in that pool and didn't have more than 300, but a province in Canada picked them from the pool and gave them extra 600 points. Okay, so sometimes, if let's say for example in Saskatchewan they are looking for someone with they are looking for welders or carpenters or whatever, and you say, oh, my point is just 300, what's the point submitting this whole thing? Boom, they need carpenters in a particular province and they come to the poll to look for people who have submitted work experience in carpentry. They'll pick and give you 600 points. If you had 600 points to that, to your 300, now you have 900. So you understand why it's important that regardless of what your score is, you should submit your application. I have a video on my channel on how to apply for express entry from beginning to the end. It's a very lengthy video, but because it's step by step, so you can check this old video. When I was applying for my own visa, I did that video just to show what I did to come here. So you can check those out. And while you are in the pool, you can then be doing like trying to you can then try to improve your score by, like I said, maybe write another IELTS, maybe add French test to it, anything you can do to boost your score. The things you can't change is your age. Your education you can change, because of course you can get additional degree. All those things you can change them while you are in the pool. And it's important to be in the pool because of something they call um um the what's this thing called now? The court, is it the like if you submit your the tie break, okay, tie break, that's the word I was looking for. So now I'm going to answer. Okay, Tayo is the last person I answered. So Travel said, Mimi, can I get a cyber? Okay, I already answered that one. Okay, Abraham, good evening from Sierra Leone, West Africa. Hey, hi, good evening, Celia. The way my English is going to put me in trouble in this video. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone. Is it Sierra Leone? Let me give you one secret. Most Nigerians, all we know really is just Nigeria. From Sierra Leone, West Africa. Please, how can I move to Canada as a nurse? I intend moving with my wife. What steps should I take? I don't think there's any step. It's not different from any other person. If you're a nurse, lawyer, or just an administrator, there's no difference. It's the same thing. Everybody applies through express entry. Um, because you cannot come here as a nurse from Nigeria or from wherever, and come and be a nurse here. You still have to, get the license here, go through the system here, all those things. So this is also another thing. If you're a medical doctor, you cannot come to Canada and become a medical doctor with your medical doctor license from your home country. You still have to come and, go through the system, get the license and everything. So even if you're a nurse from where you're coming from, there's no special way unless you are applying to healthcare program in particular. So you see some, for example, there was a time I did a video about healthcare workers that were needed in a particular province. I think that is for, was that Newfoundland that did that? I think it was Newfoundland. So if a province is looking for healthcare professionals, you can go and apply to that particular program. But in terms of like migrating to Canada and your profession is nursing, there's no special way other than express. You can do express entry, you can do provincial nomination, you can so provincial nomination is when you do these Atlantic programs that they do in different Atlantic provinces. Okay, so there is no, because I've also seen this before. Like, how do I move to Canada as an engineer? How do I move to Canada as a BA? Or how do I move to Canada as a project manager? There's no, so everybody moves, the same. Your occupation does not give you um any I don't want to say it doesn't give you any advantage, because there are some occupations that are way more in demand than others. But in terms of like the process itself, everybody goes through the same. So this is says Nima said about Quebec. Is that cheap? Quebec is, well, cheap is very, 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 very relative, to be honest. And we have to, compared to other provinces, I've heard that Quebec is cheap compared to Ontario, and again, cost of living in general, because housing there is much more affordable. Plus, another thing to know is that it's very beautiful. I am I've seen videos of Quebec, especially Montreal. So if you like Europe vibe, if you like European vibe, Quebec is the place to be. It's a French speaking province. They speak English as well, but it's dominantly French speaking. So you want to, yeah, Quebec is a beautiful, honestly, I think is one of the most beautiful province in Canada, and it's very big as well. So Coyote, I think I already answered that. My second question. I'll answer someone else first before I answer the second one. So Ogene Gary said, please can ECTIS be used as a substitute for IELTS for Canadian residents? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Can you write what that means in full? Because I don't know what that is. Um so Casimir said, hello, 45-year-old master degree in supply chain management with around 16 year of work experience, married with 4 kids. Is there any chance to move to Canada in 2024? Of course, it's the same thing we've been discussing. So age is a big factor. It's going to pull all your points down. Let's be honest. That is the truth. But if you're applying to province for, let's say, uh, if you're already above 45, doing the all federal program draw might not be your best option. Your best option will be provincial nomination, all this provincial nomination or provincial programs. Okay. And if your occupation is not in demand in Canada, and it's very simple to know, you can just Google that and say occupation. They have different, something they call NOC, national occupation class. Just check the NOC and see what your occupation is, and see what your occupation, if your occupation is among the in demand occupations for express entry. So the thing is, if because I did this video in Canada at so age, a lot of people, oh my god. Oh, sorry about that. Did this video freeze? Can you guys hear me? I think I stopped. I don't know what happened. Everything just. If you can hear me, can you let me know? Hey God. Can If you can hear me, please let me know. This is. mm. Is my did the video freeze or something? Okay. But am I moving or I'm just static? Oh my God.